A8. Hashtag underrated hype TV A8. Quentin Tarver, Wrap Your Heart Around Mine, circa 1996. Underrated hype TV. Hashtag Verse TV A8C.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I know all of these underrated hype TVs. I start off with, I have loved that song for years. It is true. I have loved that song for years. And I remember I discovered that album by Quindon in college, right? Like I was getting CDs from the CD Game Exchange, and I think they actually have a branch of CD Game Exchange here in Cleveland. Anyway, but I'd get, because my entire CD collection was stolen from me my freshman year by the marvelous people at, anyway, they stole my entire CD collection when my luggage was lost. Anyway, because in order to verify it was my luggage, they were like, tell me what's in your bag. Okay, we're going to take what we want and we'll give back whatever else we don't want. And that's what they did. Anyway, but yeah, I discovered that album in college, and that song connected with me particularly at that time when he talks about wrap your heart around mine, because I'd be like, oh, I need to find a man to wrap my heart around so we can take the pain away. And I was like, that'll be so beautiful. And yes, I acknowledge that Quindon, it's the name of the singer, he was 14 at the time he sang that album, but that was 96. So Quindon is an 82 baby. And I think I followed him on his Instagram first, and he turned around and followed me. And I was like, this beautiful. Okay. This beautiful man is following me on Instagram. And he is openly rainbow, because on his Instagram, he had a rainbow, and I was rainbow flag. And I was like, oh, wow, he's doing a lot more than a lot of other similarly aged people. And I thought that was so cool of him. And in my mind, in my imagination, he was just my boyfriend. And we were together, and we were a couple because of the fact that we followed each other on Instagram. Anyway, but yeah, and if you look his name up, what you will find a lot of articles and topics discussing is the fact that, yes, he did pass away in a car crash in 2021. And hmm, that's tough. And I remember I took that kind of hard, particularly because, like I said, he's one of my imaginary boyfriends. He's absolutely beautiful man. And I felt really bad when I heard that. Anyway, I was watching an interview with him as an adult. And FYI, he did audition for American Idol or something. It's somewhere out there. But he did audition for American Idol. And also, as far as his background, the young kid version of him You might recognize him because he was the kid singer in the movie Romeo and Juliet in the choir. And I think they say in the movie he sung When Doves Cry by Prince and stuff. But yeah, he's really good. Excellent. And in the interview, he said, yeah, a lot has changed since I was that age. And one of the things he said was he has vitiligo. He's like, back when I was a kid, I didn't, but now as an adult, I do. And he also explained that he was molested. And I particularly want to speak to this because he was molested in the industry. So, and I was talking with a dude about this just yesterday. It's almost like a whole lot of off, and I say this because it's not like you heard about that. But he said in the interview, I was molested when I was a little kid by a higher up in the industry. That industry, it's so awful what they put people through. And a lot of that's done by a lot of people, a lot of people. And that's awful because he said that it made him stop singing for a while. And he was like, yeah, when that happened, I'm sorry. He said, when that happened to me, I just stopped singing. I was like, you know what? Never mind. Why would you do that to a kid? So, what I was talking about with the guy yesterday is how such things are very common in the industry, but it's almost like everybody knows who does it, but they won't tell on you until you cross somebody. Then they'll tell on you. So that MFer who molested Quindon as a kid, he must not have crossed anybody because we still don't know who that is to this day. But it's just wrong. And I'm glad Quindon returned to singing for a time. And if, and I know that this is not, I'm not trying to promote underrated hype TV, even though that's is one of my channels. It's, if you view that video on underrated hype TV, the video starts off with some images of the young then grown Quindon. And let me tell y'all, Quindon is fine. Yes, he is. And let me say this. I don't have much time. Very quickly, I'll say, and again, this is another benefit of having a mental health counselor who has a husband. Because I spoke with her and I was like, yeah, so upon marrying my love, my heart, is it okay? Like, if I find somebody else attractive, is that a bad thing? Like, should I spank my hand or something? And what she said is she's like, she and her husband have the understanding that beautiful people are all over the world. And you can acknowledge that. The issue is do not go any farther than just acknowledging